welcome to another Explore Everyday Moon Chase. It's September 6th, and it is September full moon season. We just had a series of rain showers move through the Twin Cities. You can see the car is still wet, but skies have cleared nicely, so I'm optimistic we're actually going to see a moonrise tonight. So I'm heading out to western Wisconsin to see if I can find a long view of that southeastern horizon, and the moon rises in about 28 minutes, so we are up against it. I'm also excited. I got my 500mm lens back yesterday, so I can get nice and zoomed in. So 30 minutes till that moon rises. Let's go get ourselves a moon picture. So I do have a spot in mind that I'm heading to right now. It's actually where I shot the Perseids meteor shower last August, so a year ago. Also had the epic aurora show that night. But I am banking on this spot with being the correct crop rotation. So last year it was corn, and I was able to shoot the aurora and the meteors over the top of that. I need a view of the horizon for the moon, so I'm counting on this being soybeans. So I'm going to be just outside of Roberts, Wisconsin. I should be to my spot in about 6 or 7 minutes, which will give me 15 minutes to get set up. We are going to know in a few minutes, and it looks like we have beans. Crop rotation worked out as planned. Just beyond this house here. And here is our bean field, with a decent view to the southeast. So it's been a while since I've had clear skies for a full moon chase, for the day before the full moon. So the moon is actually rising about 15 minutes, I believe, before actual sunset, which is pretty optimal. It might be a little tough to see the moon come off the horizon. I do see I have a radio antenna that the moon may be coming up near, but I am excited that I have my 500mm lens back, that the auto zoom or autofocus quit working on it over the summer. So I was able to take that in and get it repaired. And I'm also happy to say, if you remember from April in a storm chase, my D610 shutter went out and I wasn't going to fix it. I figured, what the heck, I might as well. It gives me a fourth camera, so I have my D610 back, brand new shutter in there, so this should be good for another couple 100,000 clicks. So first time out with it, gonna go with the 500mm. So very excited to be able to zoom right in on the moon. So first I'm going to do is focus to infinity with this, all the way out at 500. Put it in manual, everything. One trick you can do is use the autofocus to focus to infinity or something as far out as you can and then turn it off. So I'm actually going to try that to see if I get a perfect focus there. All right, I think I got my perfect focus, so I'm happy about that. All right, so I got my D610 with my 500mm on it. Now I'm going to set up my Sony A7IV with the 75 to 180 and shoot with that. And I also have my Nikon D750, which I can shoot with my Nikon 70 to 200. So I'm gonna have to try to get a little creative here, so it's not just replicating the same shot. All right, we're down to about 5 minutes until moonrise. Always up against it on these moon chases. I'm actually going to try the auto ISO for this time lapse. I like to control the ISO a little more to make sure I'm exposing right for the moon, but let's play around with it and see how that works out. So as it's going to get darker while we're out here, I'm going to overexpose to start with so the darkness catches up with the moon and my exposure. And I'm not very good with photo pills. I feel like I know what I'm doing, but I'll line up the blue line right through a tree and the moon will be degrees off to the right from there. So I got to watch some more tutorials on YouTube on that. So I'm just going to go a little further to the right than I think it is. Nothing like guessing when you have a program that should be doing it for you. So I'm going to set this at 1/25th of a second, which is pretty bright now, but then I'll let the, actually I'm not going to do automatic ISO. I feel like I'm out of practice on my settings for this. I'm going to take a shot every 5 seconds. All right, so moonrise is at 7:19. It is 7:20, and sunset is at 7:37. So just under 20 minutes difference. So I'll start scanning with the 500 to find the moon, and then we'll start shooting this time lapse. And I'm gonna have to give up that tripod for my other Nikon, which I'm gonna figure out another shot for quick. Man, I'm out of moon practice. This was not a well-executed plan. It doesn't help when you get here 5 minutes before the moon comes up. The moon should be coming up right in that area, I believe, where my finger is. It's nice and big. I've got my 500 millimeter shooting right here. The problem is, though, I set it every 5 seconds for the interval, which is way too slow. The moon's rising way faster than that, so I need to get to like 250 shots. So I was way off on that. 250 shots for a good time lapse. I've got my 180 running right here. Same thing, 5 seconds, way too long of an interval in between shots. And then I got a little creative with my third camera. I got down here in the ditch and I've got it just scraping right through the soybeans and catching the moon coming up out of the soybeans. So the soybeans are clearly out of focus and dark, and hopefully that moon is gonna come up and look kind of cool behind it. So those are my 3 shots. I'm out of cameras, I'm out of lenses, and we'll see what we come up with. See, we have a nice big moon coming up in the clear sky there. We got the belt of Orion colors with the earth shadow there. The dark blue is earth shadow with those pastels going up. So a really fun, quick night out in western Wisconsin here, shooting the September full moon. So my goal is to get up tomorrow morning to get the full moon set over in the western sky. So hopefully I'll be able to get up and get to a spot, but this has been a lot of fun out here tonight. I'm gonna let, my 500 is done. I am letting my two, at roughly 200 millimeters finish up. The moon is just about through my Sony here. And when I checked on my Nikon down by the soybeans, it was getting up there as well. So I'm gonna be done here in about 10 minutes and then head back home for dinner with the family. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Good morning, back out in Wisconsin for the full moon set, and I picked a spot where I chased a shelf cloud a couple years ago out here kind of between Hudson River Falls, Wisconsin. A nice little valley here, and when I pulled in, it's full of fog, as you can see, so it's either going to make it really dramatic or really screw up my shots, but you always got to gamble with the more dramatic. So here we go, setting up the 500 again. I'm gonna get that set up first here. So I'm gonna focus on the moon. That's nice and easy. And then I'm gonna have to shoot this opposite of last night. So I'm going to underexpose for the start of the time lapse. I'm out about 30 minutes before moon set. So I'm going to underexpose to start with, so the moon catches up to the light. I had to run and grab the old cheaters here. Can't see the back of the screen, so I'm just gonna do a couple test shot here to see how it looks. I gotta take a test shot really overexposed just so I can see my composition. Did I fog up already? That's the other concern I have. Am I gonna fog up sitting down here with this moisture in the air? Alright, the moon sets at 6:26. It is 6:02. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one firing. This is kind of a guessing game. My image is almost black right now, but the moon is not in the frame yet, so I'm at 1/60th of a second. So I'm just gonna go with that, I think. I'm gonna do a shot every 3 seconds. This was definitely a first for me. A fog rainbow? A fogbow? I've definitely never seen this before. This is why it pays just to get out there, because you never know what you're gonna see. Welcome to night 2 of full moon chasing here in September. Today is the actual full moon. It is rising about 7:41 and it's just a couple minutes after sunset. So we should have really good colors in the eastern sky. Hoping we have that belt of Venus look going on tonight. We do have some clouds we're going to contend with on the eastern sky, but I'm thinking they might be good clouds that are going to add to the photo versus completely blocking the moon. The spot I'm going, as of right now, is where I failed in August 2 nights in a row. It's Sunday night. I got to keep it kind of close and local. We got a cop coming by right now, so I got to put the phone down. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at his computer. So I am heading back to the same spot where we failed miserably in August due to clouds. So a month later, can we do better? But I have 50 minutes, so I'm going to scout out maybe a different spot. See you soon. Well, officially welcome to night 2 of full moon chasing here in September, the harvest moon. And I am actually at a new spot I've never shot at before. I have scouted this out, so it's always been on my radar. And it's only about 7 minutes, if that, from the spot I shot in August. So I figured I'd come check it out. The risk was corn, but it looks like they had beans here that are actually already harvested. And this road is elevated over the field. So I have a good view of I'm in Minnesota, good view of the Wisconsin horizon over there across the St. Croix River. So this spot should work out nicely. The moon should be coming up, if I'm looking straight on, pretty much right over that way. Now I'm hoping it doesn't go all the way over into the trees that are over that I'll show you in a minute. But I think I've got a good spot here. The moon is rising at 7:40, sunset's at 7:36, and right now it is about 7:20. So here plenty of time early, which is nice, just to get everything dialed in and set up. All right, so here's the angle I was talking about. So the moon should be coming up, not quite straight up, but just a little over. There is that patch of trees over there. If I'm way off on my photo pills, which we've seen I can be, that would be the only downfall to this spot. But I can quick drive down 100 yards and make something work. But I think we're okay here. So those are the trees. There's my gap. I think we're going to be good. All right, it's almost go time. So there is our sunset tonight. It is 7:37 right now, so sunset is down. And then if we flip around, we're gonna have moonrise right over here in 4 minutes. So I've got my cameras dialed in. There's a Tahoe. Got camera in the back, camera in front, 2 cameras in front. It's getting hard to keep track of 4 cameras. I need another tripod. Luna is off investigating. Well, once again, I misplaced where the moon was going to come up. It actually came up much straighter than I thought it was going to. I'm going to have to, like I said, get on some tutorials for photo pills because it's just not lining up for me. But I was close, so I got everything running right now. It is amazing how fast the moon rises when it comes off the horizon. If you are not on it, it is fully above the horizon, literally in, feels like seconds, but a minute or two. So I guess 120 seconds. It's already well up into the sky. I'm shooting all my time lapses with 3-second intervals. I feel like that could be even too slow. Probably could have gone with 2 seconds. But yeah, here we go. It is a little chilly out, but this is probably the warmest potential full moon I'm gonna have until maybe April or May. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 7 more months until it's this warm again potentially. October could be nice, but you never know. So I'm gonna soak it up, still wearing shorts at least, but it's getting chilly. That is gonna wrap it up for our September full moon chasing. I had a lot of fun chasing the full moon here, the harvest moon in September, and I know there's a plane flying right past the moon right now. And I'm kind of in the flight path for MSP down here, and I've already got everything put away, but I'm like, what if a plane flies right through the moon? And that one is gonna be awfully close, but it go over the top of it. But we got 2 full moon rises and a questionable full moon set this morning that I botched up pretty bad, but hopefully the sunrise and the fog inversion will make up for that. So it was a lot of fun to put this video together. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next Explore Everyday video.